97.3 Citi FM. Relevant radio, always.
Let's look at your operations here in Ghana. A lot of banks didn't perform so well in 2015 because we're still in some amount of economic crisis, and there was such a huge portfolio of non-performing loans. First of all, tell us how the bank in Ghana performed in 2015.
So I think we had quite a strong year. We were impacted by impairments like a number of people, but overall we had a strong year. We continue to be the number 3 bank by revenue, and I think by bottom line as well. We have a strong ROE, and importantly, we have a very strong balance sheet. So if you look at our balance sheet, we've got proper capital levels, proper liquidity levels, and strong provision levels. So we believe we're adequately provided through the cycle, and we in this type of economy and in the countries we're in, to see everybody through the cycle. We're not a bank that's going to be in and out of countries or cycles.
Well, what do you think accounted for your impressive performance whilst a lot of people were struggling?
Well, I would like to think it's our absolute size. When you are the size that you are, you can do the right business across it. Secondly, I think it's our competitive advantages. We believe we've got a strong competitive advantage with our branch distribution, our ATMs, some of our technology, our links into corporates, and our ability to bank corporates end to end. So I think it's those kind of areas. And probably the third component that probably is very important is we have a very strong local team. The way we set ourselves up is we have an independent local board with very strong board members who are able to understand the local economy and help management. And we have a very strong local management team who's in control of their own destiny, because we fundamentally believe we're not going to run Ghana out of South Africa, just as much as we're not going to run Kenya out of South Africa or South Africa out of Ghana. You have to be local, you have to understand the local conditions, because people talk about Africa, but Africa, if you travel the continent, every country is different with its own unique features, own unique opportunities and challenges.
What projections would you want to give for 2016 for your operations in Ghana?
So we don't give guidance specifically at a detailed level per country, but overall from a group, what we've been saying to the market, clearly we believe we're still in a growth opportunity. So our budget and how we view things is from a growth point of view, despite what people might say about the economies. We understand the economy is going to be tougher, but I talked about all the opportunities that we believe we have. And I think what you should continue to see in Ghana is growth in the areas that we've identified. So our markets business will continue to grow, our corporates business will continue to grow, our investments in technology will continue. And I think what we have to do is carefully manage the impairments and our relationships with our customers in these tough economic times.
Now, a lot of issues keeps on coming up with regards to small and medium-sized enterprises and the agric business and the poor support from banks. Are there any clear-cut opportunities you will see Barclays rolling out when it comes to SMEs in Ghana or the agric business in Ghana?
Yeah. So I think clearly we've got what are probably let's call it easy commercial activities that all banks would do, and we believe that in areas like agri, there are big opportunities still that we can take advantage of. But what's important for us is, because we're an African bank, we don't believe that you can succeed in Africa just with a pure corporate mentality.
Right.
You've got to. Our slogan is, if Africa prospers, we prosper. And if Africa doesn't prosper, then even if we're a fantastic corporate, we're not going to prosper either. So, and the key around that is you'll see initiatives that we call shared growth. And those shared growth initiatives for us are starting to fill certain areas where we think Barclays Africa, Barclays Ghana can become famous for. And what are those kind of areas? One is getting people ready to work. So you would have seen a launch of our Ready to Work on the Accra campus. So we're saying we can't take responsibility for creating jobs, but we can make sure people are able to transition into jobs. Mm-hmm. And the launch around Ready to Work on the campus, yes, will help individuals who have got degrees and education, but part of that is also getting people who want to be entrepreneurs. Do they know how to set up a business? Do you know how to get financing? So that's a free portal that we're offering for individuals to go through. The other two components of financial inclusion and enterprise development, which I think starts speaking to the SMEs. So those are key components that we think we have to get right as a corporate in order for the continent to succeed and us to succeed.
Well, let's look at the economy of the country proper. And we recently had a new governor, and we have quite a high monetary policy rate of about 26%, and we all know that it has some amount of influence on how banks, come up with their lending rates. Now, what would you think we should do differently to get these rates down?
look, I'm not an expert on the Ghanaian economy. I think, speaking to some government officials during this trip, clearly I think the relation, the deal they've got with the IMF, they need to stick to the criteria around it. And I think some very brave commitments. So this country, over the period of time, appears committed. And often these things are just a lot of hard work. There's no easy solution to it. So you've got to ensure you don't have a deficit. You've got to ensure that your foreign exchange is at the appropriate levels. And all of that is often the hard medicine, which I think Ghana is already taking. That you've got to limit employment in government areas and salary wage levels, etc. So my understanding of it is the Ghanaian government is doing a lot of the hard work already, but it just takes a lot of these things just take time.
Let's deal still with the interest rate. Some say that the big banks like Barclays, Standard Chartered, etc., should perhaps take the decision and start pushing the rates down to encourage others, because they can, absorb the shocks in a way, because we have quite high interest rates in Ghana. Do you think that the suggestion they're making is out of place?
So, I think that our argument from a corporate point of view is clearly we need to make a profit, otherwise we're not a corporate. And as much as what we can lend at, we have to borrow at. So our profit comes from one of the profits comes from the difference from what we can lend at and what we can borrow. And there's the borrowing rates and what people put money into the bank at and corporates put money in the bank at have quite high interest rates. So it's not that I think, you've got to look at both sides of things. You can't just cut what you're going to lend money to people at, because it impacts your profitability.
Now, one thing that a lot of industry players in the banking industry say is most of the banks here in Ghana don't have huge capital base, so that they can get involved in huge syndicated loans, whatever. We want to see more banks merge or say associate to be able to deal with such huge deals, etc. Now, Barclays has been in Ghana for about 99 years, if I'm right. Would you consider at a point, merging with one of the small banks to grow a bigger bank, to be involved in such huge syndicated loans? So,
look, I think the great thing to say is Barclays Ghana has its own capital base, which in the vast majority of times is sufficient to deal with what they need to do in the country. But one of the issues across Africa is the size of the deals. So whether you go into Mozambique, Ghana, etc., there are significant infrastructure deals, big oil deals, gas deals, dams to be built, roads to be built. And often those deals are such a size, it's difficult for an individual operation to do it. I think the fantastic thing about Barclays Africa Group Limited is we've got a bigger balance sheet. So what you find is, in our case, if Ghana is unable to do it specifically, we've got a broader balance sheet that we can book against. So we've got surplus capital. We're not in a situation where we need to get a bigger capital base. We've been able to land every deal we can, as I say, using the broader bank's balance sheet. But another angle to your question is, if the opportunity for consolidation comes up, I think we're a very stable, very strong bank, and we'll always look at those kind of opportunities. But we don't need it to do deals. We're big enough in our own capacity as Barclays Africa Group Limited.
So if the opportunity comes up to buy a small bank, you will consider that?
Yes, if it's appropriate for our strategy and it adds to our strategy and it can help us deliver in the country. But we don't need it to do the deals. We can do all of the deals already.
Okay. Your final words on your impressions about the banking industry here in Ghana?
What I say to my management team, firstly, I think when you live in a country, you sometimes are blind to the development. This is my second trip, but I haven't been here for 3 years. It was fantastic to see the development. You can see it in 3 years if you haven't been here, the amount of building that's gone on. So there's significant progress, and so I think sometimes people don't see that if they live it every single day. So I think that's the one message to the team. And for me, I'm very excited by what Ghana offers and what we have in Ghana specifically. Our team is very motivated and I think can see all of the opportunity that's there. So I'm looking forward to a lot of growth from our side in Ghana.
All right. Thank you very much, David Hodnett. We just spoke to David Hodnett. He's the Barclays Africa Group Deputy CEO and Group Financial Director. Thank you very much for being on Business Today.